We are sitting here with Judge Suzan Baucum. How you doing?
Them, I'm doing great, but as just for all clarification, I am not currently a sitting judge, but I appreciate you using my former title. Thank you.
Yes. Tell us a little bit to the viewers that don't know you. Give us a little bit of bio, what you've been up to, and what you're looking to do in the near future.
So I was born and raised in this community, raised my family here, and I've always been passionate about our community. For 32 years of my legal career, it has been giving back to this community where I was born and raised. And I ran a foundation providing legal services for abused women and children, seniors, veterans. From there, I went to the Justice Court bench and I served for 12 years. I currently am serving as a prosecutor in the Child Welfare Division, where we see the child abuse and neglect cases and do the termination of parental rights cases. And that is very, very heart wrenching. To that work is very heart wrenching. It gets to you. But I've always been an advocate for children, for families. I will always continue to be an advocate. I do a lot of community outreach still. I read to children in disadvantaged schools. I help with homework. I tutor. I talk to all of the, from grade school through UNLV, to athletes and students about the dangers of driving under the influence, which is something I'm so passionate about because it's totally avoidable. I like to say that in my day, you had to have a quarter and a payphone to call somebody who cared to come and get you. But the kids today and young people and everybody, they have the access right at their fingertips. So there's no excuse for it. But giving back to the community where I was born and raised that has given so much to me is what I want to continue to do for the rest of my career.
Awesome. That's all. I got to tell you a little quick story. When I moved into this town, your party in 2022 was one of the first events I had gone to for a judge candidate, right? And it's funny because prior to going to that party, I had this thing of like judges are in the ether. It's like this untouchable individual, and I remember feeling that you humanized the position so much. I remember there was a friend of yours that you hadn't seen in a really long time, or you had been friends with him for a very long time, and you were crying because he came to your get together. And that was my first insight on, frankly, the humanity of judges, that these are regular people, and I could see it in your eyes.
Yeah, so judges are regular people, right? We're not up there on a pedestal. A lot of people say that judges get black robe syndrome. And I guess it could happen. But for me, everybody that comes into the court is a person. They're a member of the community. They have real life issues. They may have children, they may have families, and sometimes bad things happen to good people. But as a judge, you have to listen when somebody comes before you. But listening isn't only with your ears, listening is also with your eyes. Because sometimes people are very fidgety, they're very nervous, and you have to be able to take a look at all aspects of the person that's in front of you because they might need to be identified for additional services. And it's not a one time fits all. Obviously, you have to, as a judge, you have to follow the law and you have to apply the law as written fairly and equitably across the board. But people are human and they're nervous, and you need to make them feel confident in you and understand the processes and why they're there in front of the court and make sure they understand before any decision is rendered.
Is there anything that you think, we've heard about this topic actually just interviewing multiple judge candidates about the trust in the judiciary and what we could do to improve it. Is there any insight you could give on the topic?
So, trust in the judiciary is very important, and people really don't know much about judges. They just see them as these scary people sitting up high in a black robe, right? But I think that the best way to find out about judges and who the judges are is to come down to the court and sit in and watch a court calendar because you could learn so much. But it's also important for judges to stay involved in the community, to go to community events, to volunteer your time. Because being a judge to me is not a 9 to 5 job. It's a 24-hour a day job, 7 days a week, holidays included. You have to make yourself accessible. And that's what I've always tried to do. Even, if when there are search warrants, and sometimes a police officer can't get a hold of an on-call judge, they always knew that I would answer my phone 24/7, in town, out of town. I was always there to provide help and assistance. And that's how I am in this community. I am always available, and hopefully I can make a difference in people's lives each and every day.
So, Mr. Sanson's definitely been, when I guess judges don't necessarily do their job correctly or he perceives them, he's been very harshly critical. And one of the things he's been very critical of is the family law aspect of things. And I know you're not running for family law judge, but do you have any comments on that sector of law?
So currently I'm serving as a prosecutor, and that is down at the family court building, and I appear in front of family court judges. And again, the cases that come before family court judges are some of the toughest because they deal with children and things and tearing families apart. And it's a difficult spot to be in. Judges need, again, to listen. They need to be calm. You have to take a breath. You have to move forward. And Steve, has done lots of exposés. I can't really comment on what he has done, the people that he has been sideways with, but I think he has the best intention. And he's just recently written a book that's going to be hitting the press soon, I think, right? On some of the experiences that he's observed in court.
You said sideways, by the way. I'm just cracking up.
So, I mean, it'll be interesting to read Steve's book, and I look forward to that.
Awesome. So, in last question, in terms of I guess this entire process of electing judges, judges being appointed, any comments or any criticism on that process, how we could improve it, or do you feel like we're on a good course right now?
Electing judges is the law in Nevada, and that's how we get judges. There are some that are appointed if a seat becomes vacant, and that is done by a committee that's been handpicked by, you know, there's the governor has input into that, all aspects. There are lay people, legal people on that committee. I don't know what the right answer is. It's not fun running for election. It's not fun asking each and every person you come into contact with, "Hi, I'm so and so. Will you vote for me? Oh, and by the way, can you write me a check for my campaign?" It's difficult, and judges shouldn't have to ask for money. Um, it's hard campaigning. It's a tough spot to be in, but I don't know if the appointment process is always all that either. So, there are different views on it, but again, it's what we have in Nevada, electing judges for the foreseeable future. I think that's where we're going to.
One last question. You had mentioned that 24/7, this job is 24/7. Do you find yourself like late at night, thinking about stuff? This stuff constantly weighing on your mind. What is the right choice? I mean, tell me about what that 24/7 looks like for people that don't understand the weight on a judge's shoulders that's just trying to do her job right.
Well, trials can go on over multiple days. In the district court, they can go on for months on end. It's hard to shut your brain off. Some people are really good at, leaving at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock and putting everything that happened in their day in a box. I'm not that person. I take it home. I agonize over it. I agonize over, the people before me, um, their circumstances, you know, but it's just part of who I am. I'm not a robot. I'm a person. But at the same time, I have to follow the law, and that's what I will do each and every day. But it's hard to shut it off.
This is awesome, Judge Baucum. I really appreciate your time, and thank you for breaking the whole mysticism of this judge thing. Like, I really like it. You're one of the first people that was like, oh wow, regular human beings just trying to do their job right.
Well, I'm glad that I came across as approachable the first time that we met. And the friend that you were talking about, we actually went in grade school through law school together.
Almost Sanson?
No, 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 no. When you were at an event in 2022, the person that was there that was talking, and I got a little emotional. Yeah, we've been friends since kindergarten, and we went grade school all the way through law school together. My best friend still today.
He surprised you or something, right?
Yes, I did not know that he was coming down, even though he was helping to sponsor that event. I didn't know that he was going to be there, and it was great to have him.